called for Iran's unconditional surrender Tuesday, ratcheting up tensions and marking a new escalation to the air war between longtime enemies Israel and Iran, now into its 6th day. After meeting with his National Security Council Tuesday to discuss the conflict, Trump wrote on Truth Social, "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding," referring to Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. While he said there was no intention to kill Iran's leader for now, he added, "Our patience is wearing thin." Minutes later, he posted, in all capital letters, "Unconditional surrender." Trump had spoken to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu by phone on Tuesday, according to a White House official. Meanwhile, the U.S. president also dismissed a verdict by his spy chief, Tulsi Gabbard, in March that Iran was not developing nuclear weapons. Responding to reporters on board Air Force One Tuesday, Trump said, quote, "I don't care what she said, I think they were very close to having one." In clashing with his spy chief, Trump now appears to side with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's justification for launching strikes last week on Iranian nuclear and military targets. Iran expert Trita Parsi, the executive vice president of the Quincy Institute in Washington, D.C., says the latest developments have the U.S. on the brink of a major escalation and that the Iranians likely won't submit to Trump's demand.
If they don't trust that surrender actually is an option because they believe that once they were to agree to it, the Israelis would not be content with just destroying the nuclear program. They would go after the missile program, and then it would snowball to a whole set of other things. And as a result, I don't think that they think it's an actual option. So if Trump goes and insists on surrender, if talks even take place, I think it will ensure war.
The U.S. is bolstering its forces in the Middle East with more fighter aircraft. Those include F-16s, F-22s, and F-35s, according to officials Tuesday, who stressed the jets will be used defensively to shoot down drones and projectiles. A large buildup of tanker aircraft to Europe and deployment of an aircraft carrier have also given additional options to Trump as the war continues. Iran denies seeking nuclear weapons and has pointed to its right to nuclear technology for peaceful purposes, including enrichment, as a party to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Israel's Netanyahu, meanwhile, has stressed that he will not back down until Iran's nuclear development is disabled. Ever since Iran-backed Hamas attacked Israel on October 7, 2023, and triggered the Gaza war, Tehran's regional influence has waned. That was as Israel pounded Iran's proxies, from Hamas in Gaza to Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Ray and Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell-focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years' experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Lovin'. Puppy Lovin' is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
U.S. stocks closed lower on Tuesday, with the Dow dropping 0.7%, the S&P 500 losing more than 0.8%, and the Nasdaq shedding 0.9%. The Israel-Iran conflict raged on for a fifth day, with the U.S. military moving fighter jets to the Middle East, and President Donald Trump calling for Iran's, quote, unconditional surrender. Besides the conflict, investors are closely watching for any new information on Trump's tariffs, his tax cut bill, and U.S. interest rates. The Federal Reserve is expected to leave rates unchanged at the conclusion of its two-day policy meeting on Wednesday, despite ongoing pressure from Trump to lower them. Robert Conzo is CEO of the Wealth Alliance.
I think Jerome Powell wants to be independent from Trump. He wants to show, I'm not going to be strong-armed by the government. I'm going to hold this until we're ready to drop it down. I'm not really sure why the Fed doesn't do a signaling cut of 25 basis points just to show that they're willing to do it. The rest of the world was cutting. We're in a great shape. I'm not sure why he doesn't do that, but he's not, and there's no indication that in this particular round he's going to.
Stocks on the move included solar companies, which fell after Senate Republicans late Monday unveiled proposed changes to Trump's tax cut bill, including a phase-out of solar, wind, and energy tax credits by 2028. Enphase Energy tumbled 24%, and Sunrun plunged 40%. Also, Eli Lilly shares dipped 2% after the company agreed to acquire Verve Therapeutics for up to $1.3 billion. Shares of Verve surged more than 80%. And shares of JetBlue fell almost 8% after its CEO told employees the airline will wind down underperforming routes and reassess the size and scope of its leadership team. The carrier also said it was unlikely it would break even this year, according to an internal memo seen by Reuters.
Let's talk about some real hard data. Hard data meaning CPI, PPI, PCE, all huge measures of inflation, Fed watches. All of those indices, core as well as headline, from January have just gone down. When you look at labor, remember the Fed's mandate, right? Price stability, full employment. Price stability, feel good with those indices. Labor, 100 to 150,000 jobs happening. Even when they revise, they're staying in those numbers. Labor strong. Unemployment at 4.2. Wage growth at 3.9. That means inflation at 2.5. Wage growth at 3.9. I could go on. The point is the hard data is strong. So where's the recession? We don't see it. The uncertainty in tariffs is becoming less uncertain with the framework of China. The EU deal that just got announced, and it's not a deal, it's a beginning of a deal, as well as the UK. The Fed is staying higher for longer because they just do not want to give because, hey, we don't want to make a mistake and pull the gas off the pedal. And I also think there's a little bit of politics going on. I think Jerome Powell wants to be independent from Trump. He wants to show, I'm not going to be strong-armed by the government. I'm going to hold this until we're ready to drop it down. During this year, we came out of 23 and 24 with some big rates returns. Obviously, the Mag 7 was tremendous, and it really propped up the straight-out S&P. I think the S&P equally weighted told a better story in that time frame, more of the broad market. When you look at the S&P now and the S&P equally weighted, their rates of returns year to date are around 2.5. So they're much more in line with each other, which shows a broadening of the market. Some surprises and things that we were hoping for. You had small caps coming back big. Once again, they retrenched and went down, which was disappointing. But some areas of the market that really were the big surprise, obviously international was a huge mover. You're talking about year to date, up around 17%, a little off, it's almost 20% a week ago. So international came up big. Why? There was big value that was being ignored for many years. And investors woke up and said, we could get great companies at a PE of 10 and 12 versus 22. Why not? They did, drove the index through the roof. Some seculars that really we felt pretty strong at the end of last year that are proving pretty well now. Infrastructure trade, roads, bridges, data centers, power grid. Both sides of the aisle typically agree on that. That trade is up around 10, 11%. A good trade, feel pretty good about it. So you could pick and choose your spots on the fixed income front. Muni high yield, an unprecedented time for muni high yield. Tax equivalent yields of 8, 9, 10%. Low default risk. A great asset class to consider in your diversified portfolio. So there are some winners out there.
I can't believe it's middle of the week already. Wednesday, cloudy this morning, scattered thunderstorms developing this afternoon with temperatures in the low 80s. Scattered thunderstorms tonight with lows in the upper 60s. Thursday, rain showers, low 70s. Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 80. Saturday, partly cloudy, 85. Sunday, mostly sunny, a high in the low 90s. Area temperatures this morning, Meadville at 71 degrees, Camber Springs, Edinburgh at 71, Titusville 70, Franklin 70, Oil City 70 degrees here at 714. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Waking up with Luke and Amy on the Morning Drill. Waking up with Luke and Amy on the Morning Drill.
Just watching a video, and I don't know. I feel bad for people in retail or other facets of life who have to deal with the public and where we are today. Well, the video was a person complaining about, making sure you're not getting duped out of certain things in life, right? This particular case, she went to a mechanic, mm-hmm. and this is what I love. Like, instead of just sort of dealing with it internally, people go to social media to complain.
Yeah.
And
Be human.
I don't know why you do that. Why can't people just get back to like posting pictures of their kids or grandkids or
I'd rather
vacations?
see what food you're eating today. Than
I don't care.
I struggle with because I don't know. Like, I won't side with you. You might be right, but I'm not going to side with you. If you didn't take your moment to talk one-on-one like a human being to the person you have a problem with, you just took it to social media so you could get people on your side. Or
just to get attention.
Then the problem is you, and I won't side with you.
Like, I think religion and politics are very personal, right?
Yes.
So I don't know. I have a problem when people post that stuff because I get it. Maybe it affects your life a certain way, but it probably affects mine a different way.
Yes.
So I'll be honest. I don't care.
Yeah.
And when you post stuff, I don't know. I've just been either muting or unfollowing people lately because I don't want to see it. It stresses me out, and I don't care, but I care. Anyways, this lady goes to a mechanic and is complaining on social media because the mechanic said she needed a catalytic converter. She goes, "I don't even drive a Cadillac. I drive a Jeep."
Yeah. So your rant makes you look even worse.
Yeah. She goes, "I'm not dumb. I'm not being fooled by this."
No, yeah.
Okay. So,
sorry.
Hey, middle of the week already. Can you believe that?
Holy cow.
Yeah, it looks like we might get some storms later today. We're supposed to go out and take part in a golf outing.
Yes, sir.
For a local chamber. Speaking of chambers, we've got a busy morning ahead. Christa Lundy from the Meadville Area Chamber of Commerce will be joining us. Susan Williams from the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
We've got Kelly Clark, Marketing and Communication Specialist with Titusville Area Hospital. She'll be joining us later this morning. They just got done with their golf outing a few weeks back. And
yeah, they had a similar day. A little colder.
Yeah.
But similar.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But it looks like some nice weather on the way, and especially for the weekend, where the weekend, I feel like maybe in the last month we've had one decent weekend.
Yeah.
Where the full weekend was kind of nice. This weekend looks really nice. Partly cloudy, mostly sunny. Mid-80s, low 90s. So should be a great weekend to get out and do things. Maybe Dad got a rain. Well, I guess last Sunday was okay. But if you're looking, to do a weekend thing, maybe the rain makeup date will be this weekend for dads.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So, and there's so much going on this weekend too. From an ice cream social thing in Spartansburg to who knows what else. Congratulations, the Florida Panthers are once again Stanley Cup champions.
That's so funny to me.
What?
Nothing.
Playing hockey in Florida?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Originations, it's like on ice outside northern, in the hottest state. But I would think, okay, yeah, it's hot here, so I'm going to spend my entire time on the ice. I would do that. But.
Well, it wasn't even close last night. It was a historic 4-goal night for Sam Reinhart. The Panthers rolled over the Edmonton Oilers and grabbed a dominant 5-1 win in Game 6 Tuesday night at American Bank Arena in South Florida. They officially closed out the series 4-2 and gave the Panthers back-to-back titles and their second championship in franchise history. So, hockey is done for the season, and congratulations to the Florida Panthers. The NBA Finals roll on. That could be wrapping up here, too. And then you're pretty much down to baseball, some soccer, and some other things. Joey Chestnut, the GOAT.
Yeah.
And the hot dog eating, Nathan's Hot Dog.
Yeah.
They're letting him back in for the 4th of July. So.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Yeah, that is nice of them. Yes. Let's see. ESPN put this out yesterday. Wiener throat goat Joey Chestnut will make his triumphant return to Nathan's hot dog eating contest this year. So there you go. He is the GOAT. He is the goat. Yep. I can watch him for a little bit. You can't at all.
No. Yeah.
He was not in it last year because he had some deal with Netflix for a different eating contest for a different time, I think over maybe Labor Day weekend or something. And Nathan said, nope, you're out. I think that hurt Nathan's.
Yeah.
I think the publicity and all that, people not watching, they want to see Joey Chestnut. So
Yeah.
he'll be back.
Which is awkward, but okay.
Can he keep his title? We'll find out in a couple weeks. 4th of July is what, 2 weeks from Friday? But how nice is it that the 4th's on a Friday? Give everybody
I know.
a nice,
I'm excited.
nice long weekend. Something like that.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. Major League Baseball action. And this is from yesterday. Miami beat the Phillies 8-3. Pirates fell to the Tigers 7-3. Rockies over the Nationals 10-6. Angels beat the Yankees 4-0. Blue Jays with a 5-4 win over the Diamondbacks. Reds over the Twins 6-5. Took 10 innings for the Braves to beat the Mets 5-4. Orioles over the Rays 5-1. Cardinals pounded the White Sox 12-2. Cubs with the 5-3 win over the Brewers. Rangers fell to the Royals 6-1. Mariners with an 8-0 win over the Red Sox. Guardians beat the Giants 3-2. Astros over the A's 13-3. Dodgers batting their way past the Padres to win 8-6. On your Wednesday, storms permitting, wherever these games are being played, well, Mariners have the Red Sox in Seattle at 4:10. And the Marlins and Phillies at 6:40. Tigers and Pirates at 6:40. Nationals and Rockies tonight. Yankees, Angels, Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, Reds, Twins, Braves, Mets, Rays, Orioles, White Sox, Cardinals, Cubs, Brewers, Rangers, Royals, Giants, Guardians, A's and Astros, Dodgers, and Padres late tonight at 10:10 for Major League Baseball action. Don't even want to look at the standings. National League Central Division, Pittsburgh 29-45. Ahead of Pittsburgh in that division is St. Louis, then Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and the Cubs remain at the top of that division with 45 wins, 28 losses. The Pirates are only 16 and a half games back. We're going to get to birthdays and what we're celebrating here in just a moment. It is the 18th day of June already. Talking to somebody yesterday who was saying that she's excited about some fall stuff, but she's not rushing it.
Yeah.
Especially because it's now just starting to feel like summer.
It's crazy.
It's that weird time, too, because the kids just graduated almost 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. So you're kind of like, well, they just graduated. They just got out of school. And yet it already feels like we're just rushing through this. So anyhow. All right. Birthdays here today. You want to get to those now?
Sure.
Get to some birthdays here. And again, what it is we're celebrating on this 18th day. So let's start with the birthdays.
All right. Musician Sir Paul McCartney is 83.
Very nice.
Actress Isabella Rossellini is 73. Country singer Blake Shelton is 49. Actor Richard Madden is 39. Actress Willa Holland is 34. And that's all.
All right. Happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if today happens to be your birthday from all of us. Amy will be baking a cake after she gets done with her round of golf here this morning.
Sure.
What are we celebrating?
Hold on. It is Clean Your Aquarium Day, International Day for Countering Hate Speech, International Panic Day, International Picnic Day, International Sushi Day, King's Mother's Birthday, National Black America's Day of Repentance, National Cherry Tart Day, National Fishing Day, National Splurge Day, National Wanna Get Away Day, Wear Blue Day, and that's all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, yesterday we were talking a lot about food, and mentioned apple turnovers.
Which we didn't get because we didn't
strudel.
Get
Was it apple strudel?
It was like apple strudel day, but we talked about turnovers
Yes.
because that's what I made.
Well, we were in a place yesterday where I came upon some apple turnovers, and they looked absolutely delicious. And I held back. I'm like, no, I'll get it later. but it looked really good. Problem is I wasn't hungry until we got to this place. It was like a grocery store.
I know.
And then like all the food. Actually, we did go to a grocery store, and then we went to another place. But anyways, then I was like, oh, that kind of looks good, and that looks good. But you should be proud. I held back. I wasn't like, oh, I think we should get this for later. I think we should get this.
Are we talking about which grocery store?
Well, it doesn't matter. There was food everywhere.
Okay.
So
I had a hard time at the first one we went to, just because it has like unique stuff that we don't usually get around here, and I can't eat it all at once.
Yeah.
So I held back too.
And there's a couple. Well, in that one place you're talking about, I went in back to the bakery at least one other time just to double check to make sure, like, I really didn't need those muffins. And then I checked out. They had these smaller, like chocolate chip muffin things that looked really good too. You should be proud. I did well. I was
good job.
Very well behaved. You had a couple comments about French fries after our discussion yesterday.
Somebody was able to go get French fries after our discussion.
From somewhere else, a place we didn't mention?
No, from Chick.
Okay.
From the waffle fries.
But they weren't on the list of
No, they weren't
places.
on the list of places, no. But we had a sidebar conversation about them.
Right. And that's really a poll we should maybe open up on our Facebook page. Who has the best fries? And are there categories for that? Do you have like fast food versus, your local restaurants?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, those ice cream stands, that food's pretty good in the summertime. Hot dog and fries. Well, how about, of course, one of our favorite places for foot-long hot dog is Eddie's. I like their fries.
The fries are good. That's usually my go-to fries with the. Yeah.
So you would probably rank them pretty high on your list of local establishments that sell fries. But I think
nothing ever in life beat the Conneaut Lake Park boardwalk fries with vinegar on them. As a kid, those were like the best.
See, that's like a different discussion. Like the toppings on a fry, cheese, vinegar, chili, just ketchup, nothing. It's kind of like coffee to a degree, where you say you like coffee, but do you really like coffee? Because you're not drinking it just black. You're drinking creamer and adding coffee to it. Is that really coffee? Like Jason, our coffee guru who delivers for us, he's a straight coffee guy. So he'll tell you texture, taste, how it should be, just drinking it straight up. That's a true coffee person.
Okay.
But French fries, I think, kind of is different because you have a lot of different ways of preparing the fry, cooking it.
Yeah.
Toppings for, I don't know. So you're vinegar.
I love vinegar.
Okay. We're coming up on 7:30 here this morning. Christa Lundy from the Meadville Chamber, Susan Williams from the Venango Chamber, Kelly Clark from Titusville Area Hospital, all joining us here on this Wednesday morning. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Quick look at that weather forecast. Mostly cloudy today. Showers, chance of some storms rolling through later this afternoon. Storms continuing tonight with a low in the upper 60s.
US President Donald Trump called for Iran's unconditional surrender Tuesday, ratcheting up tensions and marking a new escalation to the air war between longtime enemies Israel and Iran, now into its 6th day. After meeting with his National Security Council Tuesday to discuss the conflict, Trump wrote on Truth Social, "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding," referring to Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. While he said there was no intention to kill Iran's leader for now, he added, "Our patience is wearing thin." Minutes later, he posted, in all capital letters, "Unconditional surrender." Trump had spoken to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu by phone on Tuesday, according to a White House official. Meanwhile, the US president also dismissed a verdict by his spy chief, Tulsi Gabbard, in March that Iran was not developing nuclear weapons. Responding to reporters on board Air Force One Tuesday, Trump said, quote, "I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having one." In clashing with his spy chief, Trump now appears to side with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's justification for launching strikes last week on Iranian nuclear and military targets. Iran expert Trita Parsi, the executive vice president of the Quincy Institute in Washington, D.C., says the latest developments have the U.S. on the brink of a major escalation and that the Iranians likely won't submit to Trump's demand.
If they don't trust that surrender actually is an option because they believe that once they were to agree to it, the Israelis would not be content with just destroying the nuclear program. They would go after the missile program, and then it would snowball to a whole set of other things. And as a result, I don't think that they think it's an actual option. So if Trump goes and insists on surrender, if talks even take place, I think it will ensure war.
The U.S. is bolstering its forces in the Middle East with more fighter aircraft. Those include F-16s, F-22s, and F-35s, according to officials Tuesday, who stressed the jets will be used defensively to shoot down drones and projectiles. A large buildup of tanker aircraft to Europe and deployment of an aircraft carrier have also given additional options to Trump as the war continues. Iran denies seeking nuclear weapons and has pointed to its right to nuclear technology for peaceful purposes, including enrichment, as a party to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Israel's Netanyahu, meanwhile, has stressed that he will not back down until Iran's nuclear development is disabled. Ever since Iran-backed Hamas attacked Israel on October 7, 2023, and triggered the Gaza war, Tehran's regional influence has waned. That was as Israel pounded Iran's proxies, from Hamas in Gaza to Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom. Ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Welcome to Inspire Med Spa, the place you know and love for massages, Botox, laser resurfacing, and semi-permanent makeup. Now we're offering even more, including laser hair removal, tattoo removal, and hair rejuvenation. Our team is here to provide expert care in a peaceful, luxurious environment designed with your relaxation in mind. And with our newly added services, now you can get all your beauty services in one place. Visit Inspire Med Spa today because you deserve to look and feel your best.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place. And now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us, but try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same. But you have excuses because you're old, so it's okay.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Kick off your summer by saving big at Community Chevrolet's Summer Kickoff Sales Event. We wanted to call it the Dog Days of Summer Sale, but that made Clark too excited.
They told me I had to go outside if I started barking.
Save more than 10 grand off MSRP on a new Silverado, like the electrifying 2025 Chevy Silverado EV. Or hit the beach in the all-new Chevy Malibu RS and save nearly 4 grand. The Dog Days of the Summer Kickoff Sales Event. This month at Community Chevy.
U.S. stocks closed lower on Tuesday, with the Dow dropping 0.7%, the S&P 500 losing more than 0.8%, and the Nasdaq shedding 0.9%. The Israel-Iran conflict raged on for a 5th day, with the U.S. military moving fighter jets to the Middle East, and President Donald Trump calling for Iran's, quote, unconditional surrender. Besides the conflict, investors are closely watching for any new information on Trump's tariffs, his tax cut bill, and U.S. interest rates. The Federal Reserve is expected to leave rates unchanged at the conclusion of its 2-day policy meeting on Wednesday, despite ongoing pressure from Trump to lower them. Robert Conzo is CEO of the Wealth Alliance.
I think Jerome Powell wants to be independent from Trump. He wants to show, I'm not going to be strong-armed by the government. I'm going to hold this until we're ready to drop it down. I'm not really sure why the Fed doesn't do a signaling cut of 25 basis points just to show that they're willing to do it. The rest of the world was cutting. We're in a great shape. I'm not sure why he doesn't do that, but he's not, and there's no indication that in this particular round he's going to.
Stocks on the move included solar companies, which fell after Senate Republicans late Monday unveiled proposed changes to Trump's tax cut bill, including a phase-out of solar, wind, and energy tax credits by 2028. Enphase Energy tumbled 24%, and Sunrun plunged 40%. Also, Eli Lilly shares dipped 2% after the company agreed to acquire Verve Therapeutics for up to $1.3 billion. Shares of Verve surged more than 80%. And shares of JetBlue fell almost 8% after its CEO told employees the airline will wind down underperforming routes and reassess the size and scope of its leadership team. The carrier also said it was unlikely it would break even this year, according to an internal memo seen by Reuters.
Let's talk about some real hard data. Hard data meaning CPI, PPI, PCE, all huge measures of inflation, Fed watches. All of those indices, core as well as headline, from January have just gone down. When you look at labor, remember the Fed's mandate, right? Price stability, full employment. Price stability, feel good with those indices. Labor, 100 to 150,000 jobs happening. Even when they're revised, they're staying in those numbers. Labor strong. Unemployment at 4.2. Wage growth at 3.9. That means inflation at 2.5. Wage growth at 3.9. I could go on. The point is the hard data is strong. So where's the recession? We don't see it. The uncertainty in tariffs is becoming less uncertain with the framework of China. The EU deal that just got announced, and it's not a deal, it's a beginning of a deal, as well as the UK. The Fed is staying higher for longer because they just do not want to give, because, hey, we don't want to make a mistake and pull the gas off the pedal. And I also think there's a little bit of politics going on. I think Jerome Powell wants to be independent from Trump. He wants to show, I'm not going to be strong-armed by the government. I'm going to hold this until we're ready to drop it down. During this year, we came out of 23 and 24 with some big rates returns. Obviously, the Mag 7 was tremendous, and it really propped up the straight-out S&P. I think the S&P equally weighted told the better story in that time frame, more of the broad market. When you look at the S&P now and the S&P equally weighted, their rates of returns year to date are around 2.5. So they're much more in line with each other, which shows a broadening of the market. Some surprises and things that we were hoping for. You had small caps coming back big. Once again, they retrenched and went down, which was disappointing. But some areas of the market that really were the big surprise, obviously international was a huge mover. You're talking about year to date, up around 17%, a little off. It's almost 20% a week ago. So international came up big. Why? There was big value that was being ignored for many years. And investors woke up and said, we could get great companies at a PE of 10 and 12 versus 22. Why not? They did, drove the index through the roof. Some seculars that really we felt pretty strong at the end of last year that are proving pretty well now. Infrastructure trade, roads, bridges, data centers, power grid. Both sides of the aisle typically agree on that. That trade is up around 10, 11%. A good trade, feel pretty good about it. So you could pick and choose your spots on the fixed income front. Muni high yield, an unprecedented time for muni high yield. Tax equivalent yields of 8, 9, 10%. Low default risk. A great asset class to consider in your diversified portfolio. So there are some winners out there.
With us this morning, Crawford County Commissioner Scott Schell. Scott, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thanks for inviting me over.
Getting some beautiful days.
Starting to shape up pretty good, but then again, it'll probably be 40 degrees again by tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah. We were not complaining. We were talking about it's so great to finally get some nice weather, and then you forget it's also PennDOT season, and they got to do what they got to do. But when you think all right, time to hit the road in the morning, and you got time to enjoy it, it's like, oh, stop.
Exactly.
Wait.
It was that way this morning driving over here from the other end of the county, and you run into road construction everywhere.
Yeah. So give yourself time if you're heading out for things.
Absolutely.
Does that bring up anything that's going on with the county? Any projects that you guys are working on this summer, or
other than there's the county owns many bridges. I don't know if the general public understands that, but the county owns a lot of bridges, and there are some bridges who are now out of service completely because they didn't pass the inspection, and even to replace a small bridge can get into the millions of dollars. So we're working with that with PennDOT. It's a team effort. The county maintenance department heads that up. And so I realize it gets to be an inconvenience for a lot of people, especially out in rural areas. But those are things we are working at, and see if we can resolve the issue.
Yeah. Are those spread out, the inspections themselves, are they spread out over a course of a year, or is there a certain time of year where your inspectors will go out and do all the bridges?
They have it all on a schedule as to what they're going to do. And that the inspector actually comes from PennDOT.
Okay.
So they have it all mapped out.
So they're not coming to you and saying, the one time a year and going, okay, you got 75 bridges that need replaced all at once.
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't work that way.
But as you said, it is very expensive.
Yes.
Is that one of those conversations that have to take place to figure out, okay, this year, what can we do?
What can we do? What can't we do? Is it cost effective? I don't know anybody in the world that can just say we have an extra $1 million laying here to throw at a project. So it's got to be planned out, and if we can find a something to do to repair the present situation, we will do that if it'll give us a couple 3 years.
Okay.
Of letting that bridge stay open.
So that was my next question: is how often are they coming to you and it's like you have to close this immediately, versus, hey, we've been watching this for a couple years now, and this is something that within so many years you'll have to.
We usually have leeway.
Okay.
To figure out what we're going to do, but every once in a while you get that surprise where something has eroded or something has rusted apart and nobody was aware of it.
Yeah. Well, and you think there was that incident, out Pittsburgh a couple years ago. And I'm sure that was a bridge that was recently inspected, but
right.
You just don't know with the elements that we have, and you get a winter like this, which we haven't had in a while, and what does that do?
Yeah, the salt and everything that's on the road, and that starts corroding everything, concrete, steel.
Yeah. County vehicles.
County vehicles. Oh, we have a lot of county vehicles. But you know what? I will give the prior Board of Commissioners, I will give them credit for starting to reduce the number of county vehicles. And even since I've been on board here now for the last year and a half, along with Commissioner Seeley, we've reduced that number just a little bit more. But there's an awful lot of people who need county vehicles, and nobody gets to take your county vehicle home with you. But Human Services and CYS, and they all need to transport children and adults, and we are constantly replacing vehicles one or two at a time, just because they've been they've been on the road for years. They get up around over 100,000 miles, and it's time to get rid of them because it's no longer cost effective to repair them. It's better just to buy a new one.
I couldn't imagine looking at the cost of you get a vehicle up there like that, and I understand putting a little bit in at first money wise, but it just seems like probably the more you have it, the more repairs that will go into it.
And it does. It's just like having your own vehicle at home. At some point in time, you can't repair them anymore, and you got to replace it. So.
Yeah. Is it difficult when somebody says to you, well, why can't you just cut here, just cut here? You've been around for a while, and even Christopher Seeley's been in there, where departments, what people are working with. So to be able to say, oh, yeah, on the outside, yes, it might make sense to move a department from one place to another or to cut here, but the reality is you're looking at this chain of events, right? If something happens at the top, then it affects a lot of things.
Right. We've been trying to relocate some different departments, like the district justice office in Meadville is moving into the courthouse on the second floor of what used to be courtrooms up there, and that stuff's being remodeled right now. Adult probation's also being moved to that floor, and that way we're not paying rent on these other buildings that we're handling at the present moment. But you got to take all that into consideration. What's the traffic flow like? How many people are coming? How many people are going? The Veterans Office is still at the downtown mall in Meadville, but that's very convenient. And they have a very large number of clientele and the elderly veterans. And it's very convenient for them just to get out right at the door and come in and handle whatever they have to.
Yeah.
So you got to take that into consideration. How many people, who's coming, who's going, and what do we got to handle there? So.
And that's just Mr. Amato going in there, right? That's
yeah. John's in there every day.
Yeah. So let's backtrack a little bit. May was a busy month for you. For those who forgot, there was a primary in May.
There was a primary, and it wasn't overly active, but there was some major races within the county. The district magistrate here over here in Titusville, the treasurer's office. Christine Kresiak's going to retire after putting in years of service. So those were some situations that were very interesting to watch. The school board races.
Pencrest had a big race, or was okay,
and
which they've had the last several cycles.
Yeah, they have. It was very difficult to sit down and count everything we had to count for those people, and to accept what write-in names we can accept. And some people are very happy, and some people aren't very happy with us at all. I'm sorry, we followed the rules.
Yeah. So, in terms of voter turnout, what kind of numbers were you looking at? Was it disappointing, or
it was very low? It was very low. We probably 20% maybe.
So that's about, I think, for. And again, I really, you know me, I hate these terms. I love, politics and election cycles, right. But those cycles tend to get that lower turnout. The off-year elections, but I hate that term.
But this last presidential election, which there are multiple people, just not Crawford County, but everywhere, that only vote in presidential elections.
Yeah,
they don't participate anything else. But voter turnout was 80%.
Wow.
So,
but these are the elections that affect us.
Yes.
Treasurer, school board,
right?
City council. Commissioner races, all these, these
and
local.
There just doesn't seem to be the interest there.
I tell you, the other thing that kind of ties in with that too is finding the people to run for these seats, because I don't know if it's people just don't want to be attacked online or in social media or what it is, but
well, if you're going to be in the public eye, you're going to get attacked, and that's just a part of life right there. So you better have some tough skin or get out of the game. Yeah, it was, if you looked at the local races, the boroughs and the townships, a lot of offices, no one ran at all.
Wow.
That's very, very disappointing. But yeah, a lot of vacant spots this year.
Is this discussed at the county level, or are there organizations having these conversations? Is there anything to be done? Could you have a night where you invite, potential candidates and maybe learn from elected officials to say this is really what's going to happen?
Just recently, Commissioner Seeley had brought that up, that maybe we should look into offering some type of informative class, so to say, for people who think they may be interested, and what procedures they have to go through to do that. I think that's a great idea. Once again, it's the interest out there for people to really want to.
Well, and we can get into this too a little bit, because it's not just these elected, officials that these openings that we might have on these seats, but you look at volunteerism, it's down. Obviously, volunteer fire department struggling. You see it across the board. So it's not just isolated to that one thing. It's across the board.
It's across the board. So, and as you mentioned, the emergency services is suffering greatly because about 99% of our emergency responders are volunteers. The city of Titusville, city of Meadville, very fortunate to have paid people in their stations. The rest of the county is not that lucky.
Yeah.
But if you look in your community, if you look at your Rotary clubs and your Lions clubs, and they're just dwindling down to, and in fact, some of them have even just closed their doors because they just didn't have the people to do it. So.
Well, and if you think, you mentioned Meadville and Titusville with their paid, but you got to imagine as, cities are struggling with budgets, those conversations do pop up from time to time. So it's challenging.
Exactly. Where do you draw the line on sacrificing emergency services? The object of the game is if you need help, somebody needs to show up. And as I said on the volunteer end of things, in our county right now, you're not guaranteed somebody's going to show up.
Yeah.
Or at least show up in a reasonable amount of time. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. And I know until it hits you, that might be that realization where it's like, okay, we need to do something. But for most of us who are going, day to day, not thinking about it, you might want to stop and think about it.
Yeah. And you don't usually think about it until you need something urgently, and you end up waiting an hour.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
with the primary, that's all done. Everything's counted, and
everything was adjudicated and tabulated, and we just finished up yesterday.
Okay.
The last thing on the list was we had to take 2% random ballots from around the entire county. 2% of them, and actually had to sit there and read them one at a time. For people who think you can just count votes, 65 votes took us a couple hours just to get through 65. So when you have thousands and thousands, I don't know, you'd be sitting there for hours. So.
Did Mickey Mouse get a couple votes?
Mickey Mouse always gets votes. Donald Duck. Okay. Any movie star. Taylor Swift got a lot of votes.
You smile, but the reality is you have to count those.
We
right?
have to write them down and count them. So for everybody who thinks this is funny, and some of them are very humorous, I will admit to that, we still have to write it down and document it, and it remains in the record. I don't know if people realize that or not.
Yeah, wow. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Crawford County Commissioner Scott Shell with us here this morning. Obviously, the next thing would be the general election in November. And it's like, okay, that's a ways away. But the reality is, the way these years are flying, it's going to come quickly here.
Yes.
So what do you do? What's the next steps to prepare for the fall?
Well, the results are in from the primary. That'll go to the voter services office. They'll start getting everything lined up for the fall. Make sure the ballots are printed properly for each precinct. It's all time consuming, and the voter services office does a great job. We'll just wait and help them out with that. Yeah. But they'll handle everything here for the next few months, and then they'll ask the commissioners to get involved with some other items along the way.
All the voting precincts pretty much going to stay the same, do you know, for fall?
Yeah, I believe they are. I don't know of any changes we have to make this year. We had to make some last year.
Yeah.
But I can see in the future, I can see Crawford County in the future having to go to voting centers. All the precincts we have, we really struggled to get the manpower to operate those precincts.
And those are paid
And you get
too.
paid. And we actually gave them a raise this year too. But it's I think you're going to see voting centers in Crawford County because we don't have the people to operate them.
Wow. All right, let's. The other thing that's coming up rather quickly, the Crawford County Fair. What again? You drive past almost any time of the year, but now that we're into the summer months, something's always going on up there.
Something's always going on at that fairgrounds. There's a group of people that think we don't utilize it enough, and if you actually sit down and look at the schedule of events that are going on up there, it's busy. The horse shows. Almost every weekend there's some type of horse event going on there. Tons of people rent the home show buildings for weddings, reunions, whatever the case may be. There's a livestock show coming up here real quick. It's just always something going on. Crawford County Fire School is held there, and it gets used a whole lot. Yeah.
Anything major in terms of just renovation work up there before the fair starts in August?
The big thing this year was some roofs were replaced on some of the bigger buildings. Just things you had to do. New metal roofs were put on.
It's always amazing to see what it takes to prepare for that busy time of the year.
Yeah, well, first of all, the fair board's a good group of people. And there's many people on the fair board. Everybody has their own little world of expertise, and you don't realize that till you sit down with them. There's a guy that handles bunny rabbits, and a guy that handles ducks, and then cows and horses, and then all the concession stands, and then all the amusement rides, and plus all the other little booths along the way. Every organization has something going on, and everybody has their own little knack, and it all falls together.
It seemed to me that there was a reset a few years ago where you actually looked and said, okay, or the Fair Board did, and said, okay, we got to kind of reset ourselves here, look at our finances, get in the black, then we can start having conversations about other things. And it seems like now you've had a few years of that where now they can start having conversations about, do we look at different entertainment?
Well, this year, I guess there's some very good entertainment coming this year. I'm not a follower of that style of music, but I guess these people are very popular that are coming in. But that gets expensive, and the days of, I think probably the days of superstars coming to Crawford County is over.
Sure,
we just can't afford that. But I think you'll see some good entertainment this year. I think you'll, as always, what amazes me is, regardless of who you bring in for entertainment, the biggest thing that draws the crowd every year, by far, that fills the grandstand and all the bleachers, is Demolition Derby. So.
Is do they do that a couple nights?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's packed, always packed. Now, the other thing, please understand, when you go to the fair, go through the barns, visit the 4-H kids.
Right.
It's incredible. You talk about work ethic and just good people. There's some amazing folks down there.
Take your time and walk through there. It's amazing what you will see these young people doing.
So I'm trying to think, and this is probably a fair board question, but the schedule of events, that'll start eking out when? End of July now?
Yeah, some of it's already sneaking out. But yeah, real soon you'll be able to see everything.
All right. Anything else going on in the county you want people to know about?
Hey, at the present moment, we're just trying to get the political end of things taken care of, which we did, and we're just going to keep moving on to try to save us money wherever we can save it. And the object of the game is, let's not raise anybody's taxes unless we absolutely have to.
We're 6 months into this year. Everything kind of holding tight from the budget, or
okay, we're doing extremely well.
All right, because that's the thing, you never know, right? Something could pop up where now we have to find some money and
but luckily we have some great people in finance, and they kind of plan ahead for those little bumps in the road.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, Crawford County Commissioner Scott Schell joining us. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All the best.
Thank you very much for letting me come over to Titusville.
And if anybody wants to attend a meeting,
we're every Wednesday morning. We have a work session one week and a regular meeting the next, 9:30 in the Commissioner's Conference Room. You're all welcome to attend. It's open to the public.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
U.S. retail sales in May posted their biggest decline in 4 months as consumers pulled back on some big-ticket items. A report from the Commerce Department on Tuesday showed U.S. retail sales fell 0.9% last month, more than economists polled by Reuters had expected. Motor vehicle purchases dropped as a rush in previous months to beat potential tariff-related price hikes eased. Sales at building material and garden supply stores also slipped. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs have raised fears over global growth, prompting some businesses and consumers to front-load major purchases earlier in the year. Sales at restaurants and bars, the only services component in the report, also declined. Economists view dining out as a key indicator of household finances. But core retail sales, which exclude many of those higher-priced items, ticked up 0.4% in May. Core sales correspond most closely with the consumer spending component of gross domestic product. The Atlanta Fed is currently forecasting GDP rebounding at a 3.8% annualized rate in the second quarter, after the economy contracted slightly in the first quarter.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
Poppy's Equipment and Storage Rental in Pleasantville is committed to providing our customers with exceptional service while offering quality rental equipment. Poppy's is now an authorized steel dealer with everything you need to have for sawing and cutting or mowing to digging. And of course, Poppy's has tents, tables, chairs, heaters, generators, barbecues, and more for your next wedding or get-together. Need firewood or propane? No problem. Whether you're in construction or a weekend warrior, reach out to Poppy's about your next project. Poppy's Place on the Tenesta Road in Pleasantville. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
For a unique shopping experience with great gift ideas, decor, and so much more, come check out what Titusville Market Square's nearly 100 vendors have to offer. Featuring unique items from local agribusiness, craftsmen, and vendors. We also offer products from 4 regional dairies, including a full line of Titusville dairy products. We carry a complete line of Amish wedding products, local honey, and maple syrup, as well as nostalgic Dog and Suds root beer and Fiestada pizzas. Don't forget to pick up fresh Clark's Donuts, delivered daily. Titusville Market Square, the new name in one-stop shopping.
Who can solve this equation? Ooh!
Me.
Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
Right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Fat Chad's Brewing is Titusville's premier dining destination, offering fine dining served with a cold beverage and great conversations. Try our new menu items, the T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Our pasta entries and sandwiches are just as popular. Try the new lobster ravioli, shrimp and scallop pasta, or our popular Asiago chicken. Don't forget about our famous burgers or fish sandwich, all served with fresh cut fries. Come in Saturday nights for Wild Game Saturdays. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
For over 11 years, Triple M Roofing has been providing Amish quality craftsmanship and work ethic that you can rely on. Pole barns, decks, porches, siding, and almost all roofing needs, Triple M Roofing will get the job done on time without sacrificing quality or the promise to deliver within your budget. Call today for a free estimate, 814-964-0472. Waiting is what you'll do with the other guys. Getting it done is what we do. Amish owned and operated, we're Triple M Roofing.
Well, joining us this morning is the President and CEO of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. It's Susan Williams. Good morning, Susan. How are you today?
Good morning. Terrific.
That's a good attitude.
Summer has arrived, and we're actually appreciating a little bit of this rain in our gardens, but I was just checking the calendar, and it looks like we're going to go into next week with some sunny skies. So as you well know, we have entered event season for ourselves and for all of our neighbors and partners. So we're all looking for the sun to shine on us during those events.
That's right. Well, you know, just talking to different people over the last couple of days, it's kind of weird because kids just got out of school, but at the same time, it feels like summer's kind of speeding up a little bit.
Yeah, that happens as we get a little older, right? Everything goes faster. I had a mom tell me last week, oh, the kids have been out of school like 3 days and it feels like they've been out for 3 months. So yeah, it's the summer will go very, very fast. My staff were kind of shocked when we looked at the calendar and realized the golf outing is next week, because that's a clear sign we're in it. You know, when the golf outing comes, we're just weeks away from Oil Heritage Festival. So we're excited about the golf outing and the trade show that will happen on the 26th. We still have room for, I think, a couple more teams. We try to keep our total number of teams a little lower so that we can have good paced play and have everybody back home with their families at 5 o'clock for dessert with their families. We're going to give them dinner at the end of the day golfing. But normally we're all done by about 5. So if you'd like to come out and spend the day on Thursday, the 26th with the chamber, we would love to have you. So you can just call our office and let us know if you're interested in a team, or if you either aren't a golfer, but you would like to have the attention of those businesses that are out there on the links. You can sponsor a hole or provide some other sponsorships that are available. So, give our office a call, or you can check us out on our website.
Now, the trade show component of it, is that pretty well booked?
Yeah, well, I'd like to talk about that too. There's still room for some people at the trade show. So we do have quite a few tables taken, but I think last year we had at least 17. So I think we're a little short of that. Yeah, if you know Venango, we had a full house in the kind of great room, and over on the porch. So it created a great networking opportunity for vendor to vendor and for the golfers as they arrive. But that event is open and free to anyone to stop by and see who have table displays there, get to know who's offering different goods and services in our region. Of course, everybody we talk to is looking to figure out how to hire. So it's good for other business contacts to know what you're looking for, whether there's someone looking for a move, or they may have someone in their midst, a child, a relative, a neighbor who's looking for good employment and is the right fit for you. So it's a good opportunity to set up there and talk to people about the kind of jobs that you offer and the kind of, connections you're trying to make. So that will happen I think we're from 9 to 11 for the trade show. There is a modest fee to participate, but a really good morning. So right in your workday, you're not, sometimes trade shows are happening in the evenings or weekends. This is one that you can just fit in your day, good business expense. So think about coming out. Again, it's at Venango, Thursday the 26th, and the trade show would be from 9 to 11. And then if you are a golfer, you'll have time to kind of shut down your table and get ready and get out there and golf for the rest of the day.
Nice.
We have a few that are going to stick around and volunteer. So while we're pretty good on volunteers, we'll never turn down someone that wants to spend the day on the greens with us. We can give everybody something to do if you'd like to be out there at one of the holes or helping with the putting contest or whatever it may be.
It sounds great. Hopefully the weather's going to it will be wonderful, and everybody will have a good time.
I didn't go to the 15-day forecast, but it looks really good going into next week. So we are hopeful that it will just continue right through Thursday. Golfers say there's never a bad day on a golf course. So I have not had many golf outings in my 21 years where I've sat in the rain. But we have been threatened a time or two and had to get off the course, but never have canceled a tournament. We've always been able to get back out and finish up the scramble. So we fully expect that will be the case this week too.
I'll be playing one today, and we'll see how long before the rain comes.
Yeah, it looks like afternoon rain, but hey, they've been a little off in the last week. I thought that it was going to start raining on Friday or Saturday and rain for 7 days straight. And if it has, it's happened after hours or very briefly. Yeah. So I've had plenty of time to get out and do a little planting and weeding and mowing and all the things you like to do outside.
That's wonderful. And kind of going off of what you said about, those partners you have with the trade show, and, there's so many other events that the chamber's involved in where, that community outreach part's extremely important. Sponsorship, a lot of the sponsorship dollars help support these great events that take place in our community. But also, the volunteers, for somebody who can't necessarily hand over a check but says, hey, I have time. What do you need? That's important too.
It is. We do a lot of heavy lifting during events, whether it's moving tables, setting up tents, making some announcements. Those are all things that if we've got the right person, we can ask them to do. Generally, one of the challenges is we need volunteers who either can be very specific about their availability and what they're able to do, or come to us with a tremendous amount of flexibility. Honestly, can we just give you a call if we need you quickly, or are you willing to show up and understand that everything might be fine and you're able to go on your way? And if you can do nothing else, the best thing that everybody can do is volunteer to be ambassadors for the region. So when you're experiencing people, whether it's in your business or you're out on the street, you're in line at the coffee shop or the grocery store, being willing to be well informed about your community, so that when you hear people talking, you can answer questions, give directions, set right information that you hear being shared that is not correct. Those are really important. And if you don't know where to get information, you can call us at the chamber and we can guide you. We believe that we are a great source of true good information, whether you're reading our newsletter, which is available online, or looking at the community calendar, which is a really dynamic way to share what's going on. You can find things that are going on, and you can put things on there that are going on. If you see that there's, or see there's an event going on in the community and it's not on our community calendar, please tell us. Don't say, oh, they don't even have our thing on the calendar. You can add it, or you can call us and say, hey, why is this event not on? Can you add this to the calendar? It's free, available to everyone. So those are easy ways to stay well informed with the other chambers, Franklin and Titusville chambers, with the Oil Region Alliance. There's a lot of information free and available. And if you're not tech savvy, you can walk into most of our offices and we can hand you a newsletter. We can hand you the brochures over the ORA, at the museum, at the Franklin Chamber, at the Titusville, at the railroad, and the chamber. There's a lot of information available. So if you'll become an expert in the area, then you can serve as an ambassador. And you don't even have to tell us when. Just show up in the community, show up at your dinner table with your family, and share good information.
To that point, this was last year. This was a good reminder, actually. I was having a conversation with two other business people. One knew what was going on in the region and was prepared. Another community was having a big event, and the other one didn't know what was going on and wasn't prepared. And I think sometimes people, especially if you're coming from a larger place where, it takes you 20 minutes to go 2 miles, as opposed to you can get to another community in 20 minutes here. And we have such great events in our region that people aren't just sometimes settling in one spot. They're traveling around, or they're staying in, if there's an overspill, if the hotels are booked in one spot, they're looking maybe somewhere else. But it's not a big deal to travel.
It shouldn't be. We know that the 8 miles to Franklin or the 15 miles to Titusville can seem a long way sometimes. We get very, very comfortable in the habits of our day-to-day life. And I, in defense of busy people, I know seeking out information takes time. So maybe delegate that to someone in your family who has some extra time and ask them to share with you. Or listen to the stream so you can get this information.
That's right.
Listen and watch the stream. That's the best way to stay informed. I was just already this morning in a business and I was getting some questions about some projects going on. And I love sharing good information. And in one breath, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm surprised that, the people don't really know and understand some of the things that are going on because they feel so familiar to me. But then I'm reminded that people have very, very busy lives. They're really focused on, their customers, on their families, on the things they're doing. And it does take a lot of questions. And some of the information changes, whether it's about, here in Oil City, we've got a lot of big projects going on. And some things are still in the very much planning stages. So things change. We'll hear, oh, well, we thought this was going to happen. Well, so did we. That sometimes what was planned changes because of money or timelines or whatever. Same with events. We have every intention of planning an event months, sometimes almost years if it's an annual event. But things like weather and players in golf, but in the players that are involved in making things happen, venues sometimes become unavailable. And every once in a while, you just realize at the last minute that the trends have changed. Something that worked for a while isn't working anymore. You need to make a shift. So that's hard because we are kind of programmed as people to like to do what we've always done, and we don't want to make changes. But for those of us that are planning these events, we have to make sure that we're profitable and that we're able to take care of the people involved.
That reminds me of last year's Oil Heritage Festival with the work on the bridge and having to.
Oh, yes. We've, it's far enough away that we'll be like, what did we do? What did we do in the park? Or what did we do for the parade? Oh, it was like totally different. Totally different. And we'll talk about it for years to come. Remember that year where we had to do the parade on 3rd Street, which was awesome. There were a lot of people that said, do it here every year. We really liked it. We were afraid that the neighbors might feel put upon, but it actually was wonderful. Talk about ambassadors. But yeah, we're going a little bit back to call it the same old, but the same old is new again. I think anybody that's been through downtown Oil City in a while knows the landscape has changed dramatically around our festival site. With the hotel down and the things that are coming there is very exciting. We're excited to see Side Hustle, the Exchange by Side Hustle opening the restaurant on July 23rd. We probably will get a chance to get in there before that, but with the ribbon cutting. And I think you'll continue to see changes here. But I couldn't be more excited to be in a region where I can go either direction, any direction, and find other great things going on. So just in the last few weeks, the Blues and Barbecue was this last weekend. I didn't go, but my kids had a great time up at the Bigfoot Festival.
Yes.
Our partners have at Bars Insurance just hosted a wonderful concert in the park last Friday. And I think it was just a week or two before that there was the first Friday that was hosted by the downtown businesses. So, there's never a reason to not have things to do around here. Some of them are really kid friendly where there's actually planned activities, but almost everything is kid welcoming. So bring your kids along. You may have to kind of seek out those things for wee little ones or teenagers. But you know what kids love is being with people they love. So when you invite your kids to do things with you, you take them by the hand and you show them what's available in our region and feed them well. Get them the treats. And there's lots of great places for treats this summer.
We were just talking about that the other day. Let's do this real quick. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Susan Williams with us here this morning, President and CEO of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, we were mentioning that it's weird because the summer months with all the festivals and fairs that go on, it's safe to eat all that stuff because you don't gain any weight. It's like a bubble around you for the summer.
Well, that just reminds me, I need to figure out where my Fitbit is and throw my Fitbit. Everybody around me is trying to get their 10,000 steps and more if possible. There is lots of opportunity to be really active during the summer. So while you're eating all those treats, don't forget that we have some of the best trails anywhere. I mean, as I move across the country, and I've recently vacationed in California where they were bragging about their bike trails. And I'm like, oh boy, you got nothing on us. I mean, we have phenomenal opportunities to get outside. I think my daughter's hoping maybe to go with some family and fish this morning a little bit. So we'll see how weather holds out. There's so many things to do. I asked a little neighbor boy last week, so what are you doing now that you're out of school? And he said, I love to fish. I just go down to the creek and fish. And, if I catch what did he tell me? If I catch a trout, I'm eating it, This is a throwback. Kids love doing things with their families. Some of my very, very best memories are just with my kids are just really short hikes in one of the parks and throwing a blanket down, having some snacks and sitting and talking. Or maybe in some cases, just being quiet and listening to the beautiful just silence around us. We are so fortunate and you don't have to go very far in our community to run into somebody and hopefully somebody you enjoy chatting.
Well, I'll tell you, with the temperatures maybe getting into the 90s end of the weekend, first of next week, people are like, oh, what, maybe I don't have AC or what do I do? Well, there's been times we've gone for a walk on the bike trail where, tree cover and it's a 20-degree difference. If
right. Yeah. With Oil Creek here between us and Titusville, that whether you're on the bike trail, which is the safest path if you're, if you're just a walker or a biker, and it is all very, very shaded. But if you like a little adventure, we love spending time out on the trail. So, grab some walking sticks or make sure you're with somebody and you have good shoes that aren't slid. Don't go in your flip-flops. It's really fun to explore our trails. There's some waterfalls. There's some really nice venues. So there are usually lots of people out on the trails during the day. So you're probably going to run into someone you know. Just 2 Mile Run is a great place to explore. Lots of trails out there. And we have really good opportunities for swimming. So whether you use one of our municipal pools, every community has a municipal pool or splash pad. And of course, 2 Mile Run has the beach, and Venango, if you want something just a little more, more intimate with some of the other members there, there's affordable opportunities for families to belong. So lots of places to cool off, over the weekend and when these days warm up.
Yeah. So we talk a lot about the festival events that are coming up, the golf outing. What else does the chamber do to prepare for a busy summer season? Is it important for your members to make sure they have marketing materials to you, so if somebody comes into the office, maybe they're grabbing a pamphlet?
Oh, for sure. I think what everyone needs to remember is while we're putting on these events, we're still doing what the chamber does. So we had a great meeting yesterday with the business where we were talking about how to, some of the things that we can do to address their workforce needs. While we do a lot of our work on Venango Ready and Workforce during the school year where we're out working with students, we're doing a lot of that during the summer as well. And we're certainly talking to our members and strategizing how to be ready when the school year starts. But workforce doesn't slow down. That problem doesn't go away. We are thrilled to have the infusion of school students that are out working in the community. We're also preparing for the newsletter. So we'll publish the newsletter. It's 12 months a year. So those stories, we're looking for, some of them come to us, some of them we have to go seek out. So we're doing all of those things, even as we're preparing for the festival. And of course, our business members, life is happening to them, whether we do a festival or not. So we're addressing their questions, their needs, their challenges, getting out to visit them. We are preparing for leadership. So while that won't start till September, we're recruiting a class. We're sharing information from this last class. So there are a lot of things we're doing through the summer to prepare, and while juggling some staff vacations. Everybody wants a little bit of time off. Occasionally we get to beg out a few minutes early from the day or roll in a little bit late. We try to give a lot of grace during these summer months when some of our employees have kids at home that they're working around. But yeah, the work goes on. So we would tell members that, please give us a call or stop by if there's anything that you need from us. My daughter just suggested today that we need to do some videos about how to get to us, making it easier for people to recognize the entrance, because it's not the front door, but it will be soon. When you're at the restaurant, you can come through the restaurant, but ways to get to us, get on the elevator or the steps, how to navigate into our offices, and then know that you're there when you're there, because it's a little different than what you would have experienced in our last offices.
Yeah, it never slows down. We talk about that different parts of the season where you think, okay, maybe you have time to breathe, and maybe you do for like a split second, but then it's right back to, which is great. You thrive on this, helping somebody or gearing up for the next event or leadership, or there's always something happening.
Yeah, I find that typically when I'm busy is when I'm best really to be given one more thing to do. Right. Sometimes when I feel like I have a breather, I take a deep breath and then realize I missed a deadline or missed some information because I was too busy thinking that I was kind of caught up. So really, I kind of function best when I'm on overdrive. So I've got a long list and keep adding to the list and reviewing the list. So that keeps things right in front of me. So, I think my staff are very much the same, that we are always willing to, to take your call or take your visit and see how we can help you. And thankfully, there's enough of us that we can spread things around a little bit. If I'm not available, it's likely that Kat or Ashley are, or vice versa. So.
And if one isn't a chamber member, that can be a quick call or stopping in and getting some information.
I so appreciate the reminder of that because, Kat is our membership manager, but any of us can talk to people about membership. But often I run across someone that is not a member and think, oh, have we adequately invited them? Do they know that they are welcome? And that's anybody that does sales knows that that's a job. And we don't want to just invite people without being thoughtful about why they may or may not want to be a member, how they will benefit, and be able to have that conversation. So anybody can join the chamber any day. There's always a good time. But if you haven't felt that invitation, I extend it today. We'd love to have you in membership. We'd love to talk to you about what the value of that is, how we can make that a great experience. So you would just call me or Kat at the chamber, email us, text us, however you can get to us. We'll be happy to put the information in your hands and then work with you to make that the best decision you've made this year.
Susan, great catching up with you. All the best. Have a great week.
Sure, thank you.
All right, take care. Susan Williams joining us this morning, President and CEO of the Venango Area Chamber of Commerce.
U.S. President Donald Trump called for Iran's unconditional surrender Tuesday, ratcheting up tensions and marking a new escalation to the air war between longtime enemies Israel and Iran, now into its sixth day. After meeting with his National Security Council Tuesday to discuss the conflict, Trump wrote on Truth Social, "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding," referring to Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. While he said there was no intention to kill Iran's leader for now, he added, "Our patience is wearing thin." Minutes later, he posted, in all capital letters, "Unconditional surrender." Trump had spoken to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu by phone on Tuesday, according to a White House official. Meanwhile, the U.S. president also dismissed a verdict by his spy chief, Tulsi Gabbard, in March that Iran was not developing nuclear weapons. Responding to reporters on board Air Force One Tuesday, Trump said, quote, "I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having one." In clashing with his spy chief, Trump now appears to side with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's justification for launching strikes last week on Iranian nuclear and military targets. Iran expert Trita Parsi, the executive vice president of the Quincy Institute in Washington, D.C., says the latest developments have the U.S. on the brink of a major escalation and that the Iranians likely won't submit to Trump's demand.
If they don't trust that surrender actually is an option because they believe that once they were to agree to it, the Israelis would not be content with just destroying the nuclear program. They would go after the missile program, and then it would snowball to a whole set of other things. And as a result, I don't think that they think is an actual option. So if Trump goes and insists on surrender, if talks even take place, I think it will ensure war.
The U.S. is bolstering its forces in the Middle East with more fighter aircraft. Those include F-16s, F-22s, and F-35s, according to officials Tuesday, who stressed the jets will be used defensively to shoot down drones and projectiles. A large buildup of tanker aircraft to Europe and deployment of an aircraft carrier have also given additional options to Trump as the war continues. Iran denies seeking nuclear weapons and has pointed to its right to nuclear technology for peaceful purposes, including enrichment, as a party to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Israel's Netanyahu, meanwhile, has stressed that he will not back down until Iran's nuclear development is disabled. Ever since Iran-backed Hamas attacked Israel on October 7, 2023, and triggered the Gaza war, Tehran's regional influence has waned. That was as Israel pounded Iran's proxies, from Hamas in Gaza to Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Ray and Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Lovin'. Puppy Lovin' is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
U.S. stocks closed lower on Tuesday, with the Dow dropping 0.7%, the S&P 500 losing more than 0.8%, and the Nasdaq shedding 0.9%. The Israel-Iran conflict raged on for a fifth day, with the U.S. military moving fighter jets to the Middle East, and President Donald Trump calling for Iran's, quote, unconditional surrender. Besides the conflict, investors are closely watching for any new information on Trump's tariffs, his tax cut bill, and U.S. interest rates. The Federal Reserve is expected to leave rates unchanged at the conclusion of its two-day policy meeting on Wednesday, despite ongoing pressure from Trump to lower them. Robert Conzo is CEO of the Wealth Alliance.
I think Jerome Powell wants to be independent from Trump. He wants to show, I'm not going to be strong-armed by the government. I'm going to hold this until we're ready to drop it down. I'm not really sure why the Fed doesn't do a signaling cut of 25 basis points just to show that they're willing to do it. The rest of the world was cutting. We're in a great shape. I'm not sure why he doesn't do that, but he's not, and there's no indication that in this particular round he's going to.
Stocks on the move included solar companies, which fell after Senate Republicans late Monday unveiled proposed changes to Trump's tax cut bill, including a phase-out of solar, wind, and energy tax credits by 2028. Enphase Energy tumbled 24%, and Sunrun plunged 40%. Also, Eli Lilly shares dipped 2% after the company agreed to acquire Verve Therapeutics for up to $1.3 billion. Shares of Verve surged more than 80%. And shares of JetBlue fell almost 8% after its CEO told employees the airline will wind down underperforming routes and reassess the size and scope of its leadership team. The carrier also said it was unlikely it would break even this year, according to an internal memo seen by Reuters.
Joining us this morning is Kelly Clark, Marketing and Communications Specialist with Titusville Area Hospital. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Hi, Luke. I'm good. How are you doing?
Great. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you.
What's happening at Titusville Area Hospital?
There is so much happening, as always. Not even sure where to begin, but we can start with our expanded dental program. I know that's been talked about a little bit. So our dental clinic has been open for quite some time on a part-time basis. Recently, we had Carrie German. She is a public health dental hygiene practitioner. She is now full-time within our dental clinic at the hospital. She is able to see patients full-time now, and which is really helpful because we see patients from kiddos all the way to adults, and it was a big step in the right direction for our dental clinic. And also we had some big news happening with University of Pittsburgh School of Dental Medicine is partnering with the Education Training Center at Pitt Titusville and also with Titusville Area Hospital. And we will be opening the state's first regional training program offering dental training and care.
That is incredible. That's
Yes.
Man, I don't know. I can't stress enough like how important this announcement is. Like this is a big thing.
Yes, so across Pennsylvania, there is a very large shortage of dental services, especially in rural communities. So offering this in Titusville is a huge deal. There will be a dental hygienist program, dental assistant program, and also licensed general practice dentists will be completing their residency program there.
That's great.
Yes, so after they finish their training, they can, set up their practices right here in the rural communities where they were trained and offer a lot more services.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but dentists in our region here are jumping up and down saying we need help.
Yes, there is, like I said, a very large shortage, and this was a push because of studies showed how large that shortage is, especially in the rural communities. So this was one of the things that they're going to probably start doing across the state, and to really push these doors open for an environment like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you trace it back to students who are struggling with issues with their mouth, and they're not learning. It's hard for them to pay attention. And I mean, more than a few years ago, you had like the Salvation Army open up a dental clinic at Oil City. I mean, this is a big thing. So,
and the Salvation Army is no longer seeing patients, and that created a shortage as well.
Right.
Just one of the reasons why we opened our dental clinic in the hospital several years ago. It filled a small need, but on a part-time basis, it just wasn't enough. So the opportunity to collaborate with the local Pitt Titusville here and the School of Dental was amazing. So we were glad to be a part of that and open those doors to some more providers in the area.
Wonderful. That's good news. Excellent.
It's very good news.
Yeah.
So that will all be, hopefully we'll be starting that program in July of 2026.
I would imagine that's something you just don't like come to the table and say, hey, we're going to do this. Like there's a lot of work that goes into planning for something like this.
Yes, it definitely was, and we've been working towards that with our own dental clinic. So we were already set up to start a program with them. So it was a good combination of their work put together and our work as well.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Awesome news. Okay.
Yeah, good.
Next on the list.
So we are having a 125th celebration coming up. I know I talked about it a little bit before, but our hospital turned 125 this past March, and we will be doing a celebration at the hospital on July 10th. It will be from 4 to 6, and we will be unveiling a history wall. So anyone that is free that evening, please join us. We will have some opening comments starting at 4 o'clock, and we will have the unveiling of our new history wall. It will be in one of the main hallways of the hospital, and then we'll have refreshments, food in the cafeteria. So join us if you can. I hope you will, Luke, since you'll be filming it.
Oh, yes.
Like, don't act surprised about this announcement. You're coming.
Well, as the host, I need to. Oh, yes. That's great. No. I just think back 125 years. That's quite an achievement.
Right. Yes. So it was really fun to do the history wall and dig through all of the archives and see all of the changes that have happened over that time. We had quite a few of the auxiliary members in the past that have kept scrapbooks and just wrote down a lot of different things that happened, newspaper clippings. So it was a walk through 125 years of history at the hospital. So it was very neat.
I know you put a lot of work into this, and as you said with the research, it's nice when others can come to you and say, hey, I found this, or I've had this. But still, that's 125 years to go back through and try to pull things.
Yeah.
That takes some time.
And we did find, one of the folks that worked in the lab, she said, hey, I have this really old photo that's been hanging in the office since I started. And it was like one of the first photos of the hospital. And it was just hanging in a framed photo in her office for many years, and no one, she's like, I don't know where it came from. So just different things like that found us, different stories and things that people had in their office that they kept, and so it was interesting. So we really want a lot of people to come to our celebration, and if you're free that evening, please join us.
Did you have to catch yourself okay, we're spending a lot of time going through?
It kind of took on its own little job. We became historians. I said, well, I got my junior historian badge. Because it was, and you would think, okay, this is what we're gonna focus on, and then you'd find something so neat and be like, well, we got to include that now, and so it kind of became an animal all its own. So it was very fun, though.
And I'm sure you have people coming up to you and sharing stories of maybe their family members who had worked there, or had some attachment, and again, that opens up other doors. So
yeah. Definitely.
Well, very nice. So that's coming up here in just a couple weeks.
Yeah, July 10th. Yeah. So we have Sean Leslie. She is joining us at the Oil Valley Internal Medicine. She has begun seeing patients there. She is working with Dr. McAllister, Lowe's, Popescu, and those folks down there. She's also a part-time hospitalist at the hospital. So she was a great addition to our hospital. So if you see a new hospitalist around, it may be Dr. Sean Leslie. So we're very excited to have her join us. And
very exciting. Very nice.
Yes. So we have a lot of new things happening, as always. But we are also have our neurologist coming from MMC. She's joining us on a part-time basis, and seeing patients in Titusville in her neurology office. Her name is Amy Kaufman. If you would like to schedule a neurology appointment with her, you still call the Meadville office, but just let them know you'd like to be seen in the Titusville office. The number for her is 814-333-3929.
Now, we've talked before, and maybe just kind of refresh people's minds. It's not always you just bring in specialists in for things. There's reasons behind this, whether maybe other staff coming to you saying, hey, I think it would be important to have, this offered to our patients, or through, maybe somebody going through and then they're getting a poll or filling out a survey, and you're going back and reading through those and saying, hey, there's kind of a common theme here. Again, that's a lot of work, but a lot goes into how and who gets chosen to come in for these specialties.
And with our partnership with Meadville Medical Center, they can see, hey, we have a lot of Titusville patients coming here for neurology. How about we come down there a couple days and make it easier on them? So that is one of the things that is helpful for being partnered with Meadville, is being able to see that need. And hey, we have a lot of patients driving that way. Do you want us to come down and see your patients here? And it really opens those doors to keep folks close to home and use the services here, and probably make it more more available for the patients here because of transportation.
Are people surprised when they learn like that aspect of it? Titusville and Meadville are both thinking about like the patients in that regard.
Right.
Like, okay, let's offer this so that somebody's not traveling to Erie or Pittsburgh or to another state or wherever.
Right.
We can offer that here, or at least we can offer this, which might save them a few of those other trips.
Yes, I think people are surprised. We're a critical access hospital, 25-bed hospital. But if you look at all of our services that we offer there, and some of them are on a part-time basis, but even if you can get some of your doctoring done close to home, there are things that we don't offer that you may have to drive for. So just to be able to add those couple of things that maybe make your life a little bit easier is very important to us.
I have heard within the last, I would say, month, several people say to me, and maybe not to me, but just in conversations I've had, oh yeah, I'm getting my knee done. There's a local guy, Dr. Gates, that's going to be doing that. Yeah. And they act surprised like that kind of quality is being offered. It's like, you just kind of say, hey, I know that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. And bringing those specialists here, instead of having to drive, sometimes an hour or more to have your knee replaced, and the follow-up care, things like that. If you could do it close to home, it's just so much easier for you, especially, like I said, if you're struggling with transportation. If you're fresh out of knee surgery, obviously you're going to have somebody be driving you back and forth. And if you can do that here, some of those arrangements are just so much easier for you to make.
Absolutely. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Kelly Clark with us here this morning, Marketing and Communications Specialist with Titusville Area Hospital. The other part of that, too, is I always think about those people, like, they'll drive a couple hours away to buy a car. And then, when it comes to maintenance, they're like, oh, my gosh, I have to drive all. It's like, yeah, if you would have bought it locally, you're staying. Right. But the aftercare, so the service end of the car thing, you've got, again, a great physical therapy office. You've got, all these pieces in place for the aftercare part of surgeries or treatment or whatever, the patient happens to be going through. That's all available here. So you're right. They can come and do that, and then they're home and they can relax or recuperate there. And they're not hours away. Right. It's so much better for the patient.
Right. And, the same can be said for dental. Due to a lack of services in our areas, people are being forced to travel outside of this area. So it's just one more thing that we're adding, that people are not going to have to travel outside of our service area. So
excellent.
Exciting.
Any employment opportunities?
Yes. So we are hiring quite a few different positions right now, in hopes to gain some more full-time employees. We have started to put a post out on a weekly basis and put it at the top of our Facebook page. And it will be updated weekly or updated whenever we have new positions open, just to really push that out and let people know what we are hiring for. So we're hoping that will be a little bit helpful. Currently, we are hiring for an audiologist, a licensed clinical social worker for our behavioral health program. We need a medical technologist, a nurse manager in our oncology department. We are applying we're hiring rad techs, and we will take new grads. Even if you're new to being graduated, not sure if you're ready, please apply. We're taking all new grads. Registered nurses, we are always looking for we have sign-on bonuses available for those positions. So you can go to our Facebook page. You can also go to titusvillehospital.org and go to the careers page. Like I said, this will be at the top of our Facebook page on a weekly basis and will be updated. We are also adding a quick apply. So it is not available yet, but it's something that we are working on. And it's really just so you don't have to fill out. You're like, I'm not really sure if I, qualify, or if it's something that I want to do. And so maybe you're not going to fill out the entire 3-page application. So what we offer now is going to be a quick apply. So it's just a small form that you fill out online and submit it, and we can contact you based on that. So it's just a little bit easier. Like I said, hopefully capture some more applicants and get people through the door.
Are there opportunities for high school students to do anything with the hospital and maybe kind of get a taste of what is available and maybe what direction they could go after they graduate?
So we do offer some job shadow programs there. That would go through our HR department if that's something that you were looking to do. We do offer, like I said, the job shadow, and that's a really good way to kind of see what the position is all about, and if that's something that you'd like to do. We do have schools come in also and kind of do an overview of the different programs and what it's like in the hospital behind the scenes. So that's something that our HR department does for the students.
Excellent. And then going back to Facebook, where you can find these career opportunities, a lot of other great information on there as well, so you can kind of go through and see what's been going on with Titusville Area Hospital. And
we update our Facebook page a lot. We push out a lot of our new services. It's a great way to learn about even old services. We might do a new campaign for them just to bring them to light and show the services that maybe have not been marketed for a while, because we seem to have new services all the time. But yeah.
Well, great. And I was just going through, you can see there's an outpatient Titusville Area Hospital physical therapy, patient testimonials. You can see, again, information on the dental clinic, career opportunities, and so many other things on there. So make sure you follow the Facebook page.
Yes, it is. It's a really great way to keep up to date with, like I said, our new services and things that are happening at the hospital. We always update our Facebook page as well as our website page, so definitely check them out. If you have any more questions or anything, and you're in your car driving and you may have missed what we were talking about, or you need a phone number, you can always also call the hospital. The hospital has all the information as well. If they're not sure, ask for the marketing department, and I'll point you in the right direction.
Do you get a lot? I guess maybe a dumb question. Does the hospital get a lot of phone calls asking about specific services, or is it best for them to go to their doctor and have that conversation of, I think I might need this, or what's that step to get to some of these other departments?
So a lot of that kind of depends on the issue. Some services, absolutely, just call the office, make an appointment, have your first consultation, become an established patient. Some other things like the neurology that we just added. Sometimes those are more targeted from your general practitioner. Maybe you're having migraines, or maybe you're having dizziness, things like that, and they'll point you in the direction of the neurologist. But there's really no wrong way to get the care. If you call the office and they say, we'd really like you to see your PCP first, then that would be your first step. But if you're already having symptoms and you're already making that phone call, chances are that they're definitely going to want to see you and bring you into the office to see what's going on.
Great. Yeah, don't ignore it. Take care of it.
Correct.
Kelly, good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Thanks, Luke.